Hello, and welcome to another project with Python in Pictoblox. And so this project is going to be a maze game project. And to get started, I'd like us to name our project as maze game. Okay, so as usual, we have to flip from the block interface to Python interface. Okay, so now we are at Python interface, and as I mentioned, we'll be designing our game, and then after designing our game, we'll play to see what happens. Okay, and we'll be using a sprite of our choice, and then the maze background. Since it is a maze game, we have one of our backdrops as maze. So the first thing to do is let's choose our backdrop. So we have it here, maze. Good. And then the next thing is to get the appropriate sprite we would like to use. So go to Sprite. Let's go to animals and see if we get a good sprite. Okay. So animals. Let's use the ladybug sprite. Okay. So we have our sprites, we have our backdrop, and let me simply explain what our game is going to do. So we are designing a game, and we will be expected to control our sprite to move up so it touches our red apple up there, but it is not supposed to come across any of the black lines. If our sprite touches the black line, then we have lost the game. Okay, so we will have to do two forms of coding. We are going to code the movement of our sprite, and we are going to code our program or our game. So what shows we've won and what shows we've lost. Okay, so now we have our background or our environment for the game ready. But before we continue, we don't need a first sprite, which is Toby. So let's get it deleted. Okay, so the first sprite is gone. So to get started, let's first of all set our sprite conditions. So the sprite conditions include the position of the sprite, that is our starting point for the game, the size of our sprite, because we can see our sprite is quite huge, and if we want to move it through these spaces without it touching the black lines, it's going to be impossible. So we will have to reduce the size of our sprite to make movement easy for us. And then we will also have to set the direction of our sprite as it starts. So whether it should face right, left, top or down. And so if we look right below our backdrop, we can see the sprite conditions. So we have the first one, that -45 and the -11 are the positions with respect to the X and Y axis. And then we have our direction, which is 90 here. So 90 means facing the right. That means if you take a 90 degrees turn anti-clockwise, it will go to 0, and that will be facing up, and then you go around. Okay, and then the size of our sprite here is 100. So first of all, let us set our sprite size. Let us reduce it to 50. So just write sprite dot set size and we are saying that 50. Then the next thing is to set the direction, and that will be 0. So sprite dot set direction, that will be 0. But before we know the position, we will manually move our sprite to the starting position we want to see, and then we'll get a position we can use. Okay, so we move our sprite here. We want our sprite to be here. So if our sprite is here, we are looking at Okay, so first of all, let's get the size and the direction, and then we'll know how to set the position. Okay, so now we have our size, direction. Now let's get our position. So this position, it's 142x and then 160y. Okay, so let's get that. And with the direction, we'll use Sprite dot go to xy, then the x-axis, which is -142, comma, and the y-axis is -160. Great. So we are done with our sprite conditions. Now the next thing we want to do is to set the movement of our sprite, and with this, we'll be using the arrow keys of our keyboard to control the movement of our sprite. So if I click on the left arrow key, it should turn left and then move forward. If I click on the right arrow key, it should turn right and move forward. One other thing we can do is we can let it move forward and backwards. So if I click on the up arrow key, it moves forward. If I click on the down arrow key, it doesn't necessarily turn towards the downside, but then it can move backwards, right? Then it can move left and it can move right. That is highly possible, but I think we should let it move forward since it needs its eyes to see a move. Okay. So to do this, we will need a while statement. We have to put our code in a loop so that it continues to run. So once I am clicking on the right arrow key, it continues to run. Once I am clicking on the left arrow key, it continues to move. So we will need a while. So while, then true or one, true or false or 1 or 0, it's simply a Boolean data type. And any of them we use, it's right. So while true, what we want to do now, we want to give it a condition. So we want to give it a condition if what happens. So we are going to say if our sprite dot, now I want to click on an arrow key. Okay, so we use is key pressed. And then what key? So first of all, up arrow. So if the up arrow key is pressed, what should happen? Okay, so sprite dot, we are going to look at its direction and movement. So the direction, so sprite dot set direction. So up arrow key, that means it should be in the 0 direction. And then we use sprite dot move. So we can specify the number of steps we want to move at a time. So let's use 5 steps. And we will be repeating the same thing for each arrow key press. So I will just copy this. And then I will paste in it. So change the up to down. And change the position. If up is 0, then down will be 180. Okay, and then change up here to right. So if up is 0, then the right will be 90. That was the initial one we deleted. And then the very last one, which is left. So our left will either be 270 or -90. So we're using -90. Okay. So this is set and done, but we need to specify our indents. If we don't, we'll have errors. So there's an indent here. So we are done setting the sprite move conditions. The next thing we want to now work on is to code our game. So to code, it's still giving its conditions. Yes, it is moving up, it's moving left to right. But then we want it to detect the boundaries of our maze, and then if it happens to come in touch with the boundaries, we have failed and then we have to start all over. But if it's able to get to the apple at the top, then we've won the game. That is so interesting. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So to do this, we will need another if statement. And we are going to say if Sprite dot, we are using a starching color. So the starching color, the Sprite is able to detect the RGB color code, that is red, yellow, and blue. So if it detects red, that means red is high. If you want to detect blue, blue should be high, and yellow, yellow should be high. And the highest values we use for them is 255. But then we want it to detect the black color. And to detect black color, that means everything is 0. If everything is high, we get white. If everything is low, we get black. Okay. So for everything to be low, for us to get black, that means we should have 0, 0, 0. That means it's detecting 0 red, 0 yellow, 0 blue. And that means it's detecting, or it is touching black. And then, so if it touches black, it should be in another bracket. If it touches black, what do we want it to do? So if it touches black, we have lost the game. So we want to say, sorry, try again. So sad. And then we want this to appear on the screen for 2 seconds, then disappear. So we put comma into there. And then after it does this, we would like it to return. Yes, we would like it to return to its original position. So its original position, we have already set the direction and we have set the position. So I'll just copy this and come and paste there. So here, so if it touches the black line, that means it should tell us, sorry, try again, then it should return back to its position at, and then with the original direction. Great. What if we are able to get to our red apple? So if Sprite dot is touching color, so the red is high here, so 255, comma, then 0, 0. So if this is the case, then what do we want to happen? We want to say what? We want to jubilate, we want to celebrate. Definitely, you've played a game and you've won. Oh, come on, you should celebrate small. So we want to celebrate, and in celebrating, Sprite.say, oh, like I'm so happy right now that we are already winning the game, and I want to see what the Sprite should be saying. So Sprite.say, congratulations. Yes. You won. Great. This will be so beautiful. So let's see. The indents here have gone far in, so I have to get them out. If not, we'll have errors, a lot of errors. I think we are good to go now. So let's run our code and see what happens. Okay, we've not finished. So at the end of the day, we have to break. If we don't break, we will have issues with our code. So we break, add a break function, and then we run our code. Okay, so we are getting errors. And what errors are we getting? Okay, so we should have a column here. And then we should have 3 here because we have 3 open brackets. We should have 3 closing brackets as well. Okay, so let's run again. We are still getting errors. Okay, our indent does not match. Okay, so let's look at where the problem is. Line 25. Okay, we left an indent out. Let's run again. But this is really going to be an interesting game, and we all like to play it always. Great, so it's done running. So I'm pressing my up arrow key. You can see my sprite moving up. And I'm coming to press the left. So left, okay. It turns left and it moves left. And up again. Our goal is to get to the apple. Okay, now right. Oh no, don't touch the line. Don't touch the line. Don't touch. Oh, we've lost because that's touched the line. Okay, so as we just did for we've lost, we've won, we should jubilate for 3 seconds. We can't jubilate forever. Let us quickly reduce the size of our sprite so that we don't have a lot of issues. So let's reduce it to 40 and then run again. Okay. So up arrow key, left arrow key, sorry, right arrow key, sorry, up arrow key again. Sorry, I said right. Then now right arrow key. Down arrow key, don't touch. Let's go again. Down arrow key. Please come down, come down. Right arrow key, don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. Okay, up arrow key. Left arrow key. Up arrow key. Left arrow key. You must eat this. Congratulations, we've all won. So this is simply our maze game, and it's a very interesting game. We will all like to have design it on our own and play it all the time. Okay, bye-bye.